Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Glassman's world. I'm Dan the Glassman, and we're about to get started. It is the very first video live stream for me, glass blowing for 2026. Welcome to 2026, guys. We all made it. All of those who are here, those of us who are watching, those of us who are blowing glass live here, we all made it. All right, let's get this torch on. Let's get our glasses on. Make sure we're always wearing our didymiums here. And it looks like I've actually here, before I turn that on, this is how I usually carry my top. But as you can see, it looks like I only have like 5 tops left. Yeah, there's none on the back side of that. So there's only 5 tops left. So we definitely need to make more spinning tops, any colors possible, pretty much anything. Um, I've already made a whole bunch of jellyfish, so that was one of the last things that we made last year was the jellyfish. So I got those replaced during the Christmas break, the holidays. You know, it really wipes me out, especially when I run the buy one get one for sale. Every end of the year, you guys always look out for that deal. And throughout the year, I run these specials all the time. And then my glass is already like probably some of the most affordable glass that you can find out there. And then I like make specials right away. Like I try to keep my glass almost close to wholesale to the public, pretty much. And and yeah, so I do some really awesome deals. You know, all my $20 items are always 2 for 30. So basically, if you buy 2 of them, you're getting $5 off. That's 25% off right away on each piece. You know, so you're saving quite a bit of money right there. All right, so let's just make some tops. Let's see what color we should start with. I guess cobalt blue is always a good color. We can always just use that and just start making tops here. Just make sure this is all nice and clean. Get the surface clean from any dust, dirt, or debris that might have blown in. I always keep my fan on just for that reason. If I turn my fan off, then the wind can blow through a lot heavier. And I don't have a damper or any kind of a cover to close it. So yeah, we got that to deal with. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're having an amazing New Year's. You know what I just realized is that I have my computer out in the living room and I won't be able to read any comments really unless I bring that in here. It wouldn't take too long. Let me go run and grab that real quick before we actually like truly get started here. Let me just go grab that. Let me move this out of the way so I don't stab myself. I might have to move you guys out of the way for a moment though. So give me a second here. I'm gonna go grab her. Alright guys, I'm back. Let me see if I can get this in here without having to move you guys out of the way. Hold on one sec. Let me move this out of the way. Alright. I'll try to get this hooked up here and not have to move you guys. And then I can read all the comments and everything. Oh man. Dang it, I just smashed my glasses. Pop the lenses out. Alright, so I haven't had this set up in here for all of New Year's apparently. We've just had the computer out in the living room, and I've just been allowing our son to watch a whole bunch of different shows that he likes to watch on YouTube, and different content creators and people that he watches, influencers. Mostly a lot of Minecraft videos is what he's really focused in on. And I try to get him to just watch a bunch of other different shows and cartoons and other things. But he always seems to revolve around that. I don't know, seems like Minecraft is a really big thing, and building with all the blocks, all the pixelated art. It's really interesting. It's like we're going backwards with all the visuals and everything compared to what we used to have with some really amazing graphics and stuff. It's pretty interesting, but it is what it is. It's like 80s is the new fad once again, right? Alright, so we got the computer up here. Let me just get this rolling. We'll get this we'll get the flame back on here, and we'll get started. And also let me get this off here so we can shut down the volume on this, and then on this one as well, make sure the volume's shut down, and then we can pause it. Alright, I'm going to get over to my video now, and then I can read comments if there are anyone here watching, any live comments. I believe the live chat is up and running. And let me see if I can fix my glasses here. This sucks. I really do need to get some new glasses, because these lenses have been broken for years now, and I just really need to get a new lens. But I wonder how much just one lens would cost. If this pair of goggles ran like $600 brand new back in the day, how much do lenses run to have them made? It's got that crazy crack in there, and if I don't place it in the frame just right, then it pops out. That's the one thing that I need, is get some new goggles. I saw my friend, you may know the name Unser, you know, from Al Unser and Bobby Unser, the Unser racing team. So my friend Joey, he's a glass artist here, and anytime that he throws down on the torch at live demos and places, if I'm there, he'll let me jump on the torch and jam with him, and it's pretty cool. And I just like I like to share new knowledge and stuff with him, because he's still up and coming, but he makes some amazing pieces, man. Like, I'm like, wow, I'm blown away by the things that these guys can make in the little bit of time that they've had on the torch. But then I guess that comes from, like, you know, having teachers like myself and other individuals who've taught me, and others that just, you know what they're doing. So that's really cool. All right, let me get this video up. I was just wiping my glasses. I'm trying to get the lenses are now in. I have to place them in so carefully so they don't fall out, and I got to be so gentle with them. There's been times when, like, I've leaned forward and then they pop out, and then I'll trying to blow glass with one eye. It's like that's pretty much impossible, but then not, because my glass guru, my teacher, he actually lost his eye. He lost one eye, and from a glass blowing accident, which sucks. I can't believe that happened still. And it's like, man, but he can still, like, fucking, he can rock on the torch, and he can outdo me with glass any day. It, like, I hands down, Brian Bentley, you are OG motherfucker. Like, you're badass, dude. With what you can do. I remember the first time that I saw him with after the accident. He told me, he's like, hey, what's up? I'm Brian. That's what one eye. And I was like, dude, are you fucking, like, I guess, man, I guess the best way to go about it is just, you just got to laugh about those kind of things that happen, right? And just make the light of the situation. So, I commend him for that as well, and that he's able to just roll with it, right? Just roll with the punches and keep going, and he's been doing really well. It's good to see that he's been doing as well as he has been in the last few years, and I appreciate him still connecting with me, and seeing how the family is doing and stuff. So I appreciate you, brother. So we're gonna make some spinning tops here. I don't know if this is something that he actually taught me. He may have taught me this, but maybe not. This might have been something that I taught myself how to do and how to make. I don't know if I ever seen any of the Lewis Wilson videos with any, like, George or Kevin O'Grady making any of the spinning tops. I don't know if I ever watched any videos of anyone making spinning tops. It might have just been something that I started to make, trying to figure out how to do. I don't know. I know back in the day I was making chess pieces, and maybe from making the pawns, that then, like, gave me the idea, like, oh, if I put a little thing on the bottom there, it can be a spinner. Like, maybe that's how it came up. I don't really remember how I came up with the spinning tops, but this is how you flatten them. Go right onto the pad, and as you push it down, you want to make sure that rod stays center. So you got to look at all sides as you're pushing that down, and then use your paddle to flatten it, and try to keep it at eye level as you're spinning it, so you can see if you need to, like, push it over this way or push it over that way. And then at this point, there's usually, oh, let me turn this lamp on. Can I? I don't know if it'll be such an easy task. Here, let me plug this in. Try not to burn my face off here. Okay, there we go. Shed some light on the situation on here. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but when you push the when you push this down, it sometimes gets these little like heat rings on there. I don't know if you can see any of those rings on there, but that gives you an idea of where the center point is. And then that will show you where to push. Yeah, like I don't know if you can really see those rings or not, but that'll then show you where you want to put the colored glass, the little dot of color there. And I make the dot, I don't know, a good 7 millimeter wide. I've never really measured it. It could even be bigger. And they fluctuate in size. Some are smaller, some are bigger. But the idea is to push that on, start to spin it, so then you can see how centered you are, and then you can really tell if you need to like push that dot over to one way or another. And then that's when you can really get it centered there. So it is now 11:50, maybe even 12 o'clock right now. It's 12 o'clock on the dot right now officially. That's Mountain Standard Time. We're here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, guys. And we live pretty close to Kirtland Air Force Base, which is just south of us here. And today, they announced that they're going to be doing some sort of controlled explosions on the base. So we may hear some big old loud booms. And you guys may not hear them. I don't know if they'll come through the camera or not here, but I'll let you know if I hear anything. But there's supposed to be some big old loud booms. And if so, maybe we'll run outside and see if there's any sort of big old mushroom clouds outside or anything like that. I don't know what sort of explosions are. They're just saying that they are controlled explosions. I don't know if they're releasing anything, putting anything out there. If whatever they're exploding is safe. I mean, you know, we're talking about explosives. I don't think anything is really safe, you know, as far as the environment's concerned. I'm trying to get this centered here. This one went on way crooked, so I need to use the paddle now as the dot's molten, and I can like try to force it over and then see just how centered it is. And when I spin it like this, then I'll be able to tell if it's centered or not, or how close to being centered it is. You know, if it's close enough, it might still work and be a good spinner. But you really want to get that dot centered. And this one went on real crooked for some reason. First piece of glass, I guess. It was a lot worse, but we're able to move it over and get it into the right spot here. So those of you who are watching in the local community, I want to just send my heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Marco Nunez, a local award-winning, amazing, world-renowned drummer, percussionist. Worked with many individuals, some big productions, some big individuals that tour the world, and I believe he also may have gone on some some world tours or some big national tours and things like that. And so just want to send my heartfelt condolences to his friends, family, all his fans, to everyone who's ever worked with him, who's known him. You know, I didn't ever really get to know him well, but we knew each other through the music scene, of course. You know, I and working with shows and working with a lot of different James Douglas show, which one of the first bands that I was ever a part of. We ended up becoming. We took over one of their like Tuesday or Wednesday night spots, and we didn't know who JDS was. We didn't know who James Douglas was. We were Chronic Logic, and I remember we showed up, and this was when it was Brewster's Pub before it became the Library here in Albuquerque. And we got up there on stage, and I remember we were playing like our own music, our own originals and things, and they were like, "Who are you guys? Where's James Douglas band?" And we were like, "What? Like, who's James Douglas? Like, I don't know." And then, like, you know, on our first break, we went down and we started talking with like the bartenders and stuff and asking them like, "Who's James Douglas?" Like, we don't know who they are. You know, we were some young kids at the time, and we didn't know anything, and also didn't even realize that our friend Del Mon was part of the James Douglas show back then. You know, he sat in with Chronic Logic, with Element 37, and you know, I know that he's hurting right now. You know, to lose a brother like that, to lose a bandmate, to lose someone close in the music industry that I know that him and Marco were close and worked together in a lot of different productions, engineering, in the sound booths, and just so many different ways. And so I just, you know, I feel really bad for a lot of those that were really close to him and worked with him, his bandmates, you know, his best friends, and of course his family, his children. So it's just, it sucks. I don't think he was much older than me. I don't really know. Like I said, I didn't know him very well. I did know him in one capacity, kind of personally, in that um, my very firstborn, my firstborn child's mother knew Marco's wife, and they actually, I think, took her in when she was having her hard times and struggling with addictions and things like that. She actually OD'd many years ago. I would say close to 5 or 6 years now, if not more. May her soul rest in peace as well. But they tried to help her out, and I was really pleased to know that, you know, that they were real. They were good people, and you know, I didn't really know his wife, and like I said, I didn't know Marco that well either. Just knew him through the music community, and playing different shows and running into each other at different shows, and you know, we would say hi, we'd greet each other, and we knew each other, but we weren't like best of friends. Didn't hang out anywhere outside of those shows and things like that. But I know he was a hardworking musician, a hardworking individual. He was a loving man, a loving wife, a loving father. His I believe his daughters. I think he has 2 daughters. I know he went through hard times with losing his son recently too and stuff, like, you know, it's been a hard life, and now he may rest in peace and not have those worries on his shoulder anymore. And it's just, now it's the burdens on those of us who are left behind, those his friends, his family, his loved ones. So my deepest heartfelt condolences to you all. it sucks that, you know, to see his last post and Happy New Year and sending love and blessings to everyone, and may you have a loving and long prosperous New Year, and then for him to pass like that just sucks. But yeah, Chronic Logic, we sat in for James Douglas show several times at Brewster's Pub long before it became the Library Bar and Grill, and a lot of good memories up there on that old stage up top above the kitchen there. A lot of good memories. So anytime James Douglas had another show elsewhere, Chronic Logic would fill in over at Brewster's Pub. I think that's pretty cool. Because then eventually Del Moan came in and sat in with us on the saxophone. Del Moan saxophone. And yeah, and then working together with him with Law of Attraction, you know, and I'm sure there were times when Marco would come over and watch us do rehearsals. I don't know if he ever did, actually. I don't know if he ever sat in with us during Law of Attraction. I don't remember now. I think we always had Camilo on the percussion, always. I don't know if we ever had anyone fill in. I'm trying to remember now. So many different projects. Sometimes life becomes a blur. So many things going on. So this year, talking about music and musicians and local music and stuff in Albuquerque, I'm going to be featured on my friend's show called, what's it called again? I don't remember. I don't want to call it something that it's not. But my friend Seth Hoffman, he invited me to come on to his show, a local show on the public access station here in Albuquerque. And I believe it airs 2 weeks after we record it. So he's invited me to come on the first, I believe it's the first week of February. I believe it's February 4th that we'll be doing the recording session. And then, which is only a few weeks away, guys. And I do want to start to perform a little bit more here and do some warm-ups, you know, a couple songs here and there. I really don't know which songs I'm going to be performing live yet, but I have a few songs in mind, and being that it's around the time of Bob Marley's birthday as well as my own birthday, you know, it might air 2 weeks later, but it might still be good to talk about how, you know, having those connections, doing the Bob Marley birthday bash for many years, which also like coincided with my own birthday celebration, which was why, like, it was like a big party celebration for my own birthday basically every year. And that happened up until about 2012, I guess, somewhere around there. For a good 9 years. We never did the 10-year anniversary on that one. But I'm happy to say that I'll be performing on my friend's show. And I'm a little bit nervous, you know, because I haven't performed out in the public in a long time. Also going to be interviewed. So, you know, I'm a little bit nervous about that because I have no clue on, you know, where this interview can go and steer and what we may be talking about and things. And I know I can always decline on if I want to talk about certain subjects and topics or not. But there's so much to like cover and talk about, and I have no idea like what I would like to kind of focus on. I know glass. I know I need to talk about my YouTube channel here, The Glassman's World. And I need to make sure I have all my links available and ready because there are way too many. So I need to figure out which ones are the most important links to get people connected to me. And I'm thinking, if I can at least get people onto my main Facebook profile. But I will be talking about glass balloons, so I will also be directing individuals to the Facebook, the Glass Balloons page on Facebook. And the drop of water we definitely need to talk about. So there's going to be several things that we have to talk about, you know. It's like kind of a necessity. I saw one of his shows. I kind of caught a clip of another show with someone performing, but I didn't watch the whole entire show and the interview and everything. It wasn't up until just the other day after New Year's that I watched our friend Jaime Lopez, uh, Loco, Louis Loco Lopez, or however he goes by. And he was on. He gave an amazing message. I really love the message that he shared with us all, that he wrote down, I guess, in, what did he say, in 2005 or somewhere, sometime back then. And I connected with him probably around 2008, and connected with him at the Cosmic Trading Post. It was really cool that he opened up his interview talking about the Cosmic Trading Post and how he met Seth. So, you know, that might be something important to talk about, is like how Seth and I met, and our very first encounter. I don't even know if he remembers our first kind of real encounter together. But it'll be real fun to talk about that for an April Fool's Day show that we had done at the Atomic Cantina. So yeah, and there's some really cool things between me and Seth that have happened, that we've connected with, and the three-sided hole and Cosmic Trading Post, and with Dr. Blue, and just so many things. And it was cool that Louis Loco Lopez, that he was able to bring that in and talk about a piece that he had acquired from Dr. Blue's house after his passing. He was a prominent individual in our community that we had lost last year. I believe it was last year. Has it been almost a year and a half now? Oh my gosh, I've lost track of time so much. I am not good for keeping track of time, guys. Really not. I don't know if it was last year or the year before that I had helped with clearing out the home, and it was a big project. Yeah, that might have been a couple years, about a year and a half ago now. So yeah, just getting prepared for his show, trying to figure out where we may steer the direction of the interview, and what I'd like to really talk about. You know, like there's so much to talk about. Like just talking about the drop of water alone. Like I don't know if we have enough time to talk about everything. There's so much to talk about. It's gonna be a big onion to unpeel. Many layers of the lotus there. It's going to be interesting. You know, there's also, like, you know, me working with film, although I haven't done anything in film in a long time, but, you know, ever since around 2004 till about like 2020, so for like almost 20 years of my life, I've worked in film and done background and stuff like that, and then also before that working on our own public access, and helping with moving things over from that old spot to the new spot. You know, that was a transition with Mike Trujillo and the old public access channel 27. What was it called? Quote unquote. And we had our channel, our show Hemp TV, channel 27. It was a local show when we were fighting for decriminalization and fighting for the use of medical cannabis and things like that. And surprisingly, shockingly enough, New Mexico actually made it recreational for adults 21 and over. So it's now legal, recreational here for anyone to consume, to carry up to 2 ounces. It's quite amazing. You can't sell it, but you can gift it to another individual. So it's cool. It's recreational here. And it's amazing that that actually happened in our lifetime, and that we had worked on a lot of that back in the days, back around. I remember getting involved, I think about 97, 98, 99, 2000. Around 2000 was when I got involved with the first band, Soup, which then led to Chronic Logic. And then Chronic Logic, that was a band that I was talking about, where we were playing at Brewster's and filling in for James Douglas show. And, you know, just so many connections in those ways in the music circle here in Albuquerque. So it's sad to lose a brother in our scene here. It sucks that we lost Marco. He's too young to go, too soon. Too young and too soon. Alright, that's a good spinner there. Alright, all these will get put in the kiln here. And then I'll fire them up in a little while. I'm just going to make like, I don't know, 4 or 5 of each one of these, I guess. I haven't heard any booms yet, guys. I'm wondering, like, is it going to happen anytime soon? It's got to be like close to about almost 12:20 now. They said anywhere between noon and 3 p.m. And I don't know if we're going to hear a lot of them or if we're going to hear just one big old boom. I don't know what's going to happen. They didn't really say much about it. You know, I'm sure we'll find out later what they've released with all of it, you know. What sort of dust plumes and particulates get put up into the air and the sky. Why they're doing this experiment. What was it for? Maybe we'll find out. You know, being that we're a military state like we are, and we have so many different military bases, installations, underground secret bases and things like that. You know, Roswell being here, and Hangar 18, Dulce, all kinds of different places here that they kind of just tell us things. You know, it's kind of known that we have military experiments and government experiments, scientific experiments, and things like that happen here. But then there are some things that have become hush-hush. You know, they don't talk about it. There's no accountability. Like, what was it, the 40,000 tons of jet fuel that spilt under Kirtland Air Force Base that they should be required to clean up. Or I think they were, like, told that they're supposed to, but yet they haven't. And it's been going into the water aquifer and the water supply underneath the ground, and seeping into that and going into the water that goes down the Rio Grande River. And no one talks about that. And that all the water that's basically below Kirtland Air Force Base is pretty much toxic. But then also we had Intel that was up there like by Alameda, and everything from south of that is pretty much all toxic, or was. I think Intel is still there, but I don't know if they do like all the things that they used to do, or I don't know. There's some. I thought they had moved, but then there's still the people working there, there's still employees and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe they just weren't allowed to dump in the river anymore. So then their main manufacturing facility had to move, and maybe they're still doing smaller types of manufacturing and things like that with microchips and stuff. Or maybe it's just an ordering facility, distribution center. I have no idea. You know, it's going to be a little hard to distinguish the booms from Kirtland compared to what's happening outside. We have a little bit of construction outside on the road, and so there might be some booms from the construction workers out there. So I don't know if we're going to capture anything or not. But I just wanted to come back on here, do a little bit of glass for you guys for 2026. I'm thinking for this year, we're going to continue working with beginner glass blowing lessons, of course, doing a lot of demos on how to make this and how to make that, just sharing, keeping it pretty much open source here. You know, I'm trying not to like hide any sort of like secrets or any glass blowing tips or tricks. You know, I just wanted to get it out there, share it out there. If I figure something out, I'll just show how I do it. And if you're a glass artist and you're good enough that you can figure it out just from watching a video or a live stream, then, you know, then that's amazing. And I got to give you props and credit for that. So, and I got to give you the opportunity to see if you even can. So I think that's what I'm going to continue doing this year. I'm going to bring you a little bit more music than I used to. I kind of got away from playing the guitar. Haven't been picking it up as much as I should be. My fingers hurt every time I pick it up and try to play. So I really do need to like actually pick it up a lot more often, almost daily now, and get my calluses working again and be prepared to play really well in February. Because my timing is off, my strumming isn't as nice and clean as it once used to be. But my timing is off. I'm feeling it, you know, and I want to be able to get into it where I'm not thinking about what I'm playing. It's just coming out as muscle memory, and not trying to figure out, oh, what are the next chords and where am I supposed to go? What are the words? I forgot the lyrics again. Even on my own songs, guys, forget the lyrics. It happens. When you don't practice, you don't rehearse, you don't keep it fresh. You know, if you don't use it, you'll lose it, right? And then some things are like riding a bicycle, where it just takes some time to get back on it, get a little bit of that practice in so you can get comfortable back with it. And then you just riding smoothly once again, right? So I think that's what's going to happen, is just, you know, getting on the guitar every day, pedaling away. Till I can go for miles and miles and miles on the guitar, right? Meaning that I can play for hours and hours and hours, like, you know, speaking in metaphors here, riding a bicycle. But yeah, it's like riding a bike, you know, you kind of don't really forget, but you want to get back into the practice, you know. It's not, you don't want to like not be on a bicycle, and then as soon as you get back on the bike, you want to try to like do some jumps, hit some ramps or something, you know, try to bunny hop up a curb or something like no, you want to like get your pedal going and make sure you can steer properly, get your balance right, feel comfortable on it again. Then you can like try to do those things if you're ready for it or not. So that's where I need to get to with the guitar. And I only got a few weeks to get ready for this. So I am a little bit nervous because I'm not 100% prepared. In my mind, I don't feel like I'm 100% ready. But then again, you know, I picked up the guitar the other day and then things went smooth and it was nice. Kinda. Took a minute to tune everything. But how you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. I'll be working on some Valentine's glass here coming up soon. A lot of flowers, hearts. Someone recently requested roses in glass, which I have made roses in glass. And I should try to bring those back and start making those again. I have a cool way that I started making them years ago, and I think I can bring that back. I figured those out, gosh, like in the 90s, probably around 97. I started in 95. I think probably by 97, I figured out how to make roses. Nice. That one spins really well as well. Cool. All right. There's 3 blue ones. And those all spin really well. Even that first one, when it was like really crooked, came out well. So every Sunday, we've been still going strong even throughout the winter now. Every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. if you're local here in Albuquerque. You can find us at the Curious Toast Cafe. And we have a Curious Toast Sunday market every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's downtown, 718 Central Avenue. Come check it out. That's where we're at. Come get some glass. Like I said, I'll be making some Valentine's glass coming up soon. You can order custom orders now. My wife will be making a lot of Valentine's greeting cards. Some beautiful cards for Valentine's. She makes some beautiful handmade cards. Hand stamped, hand cut out, hand colored. She's an award-winning stamping artist, crafting artist. We will probably be entering into the state fair again at the end of the year, in fall again, around September is when we have our state fair. So look out for that. I don't know when I'm going to start making my entry, but I plan to take best of show in first place this year because I feel like they took it away from me last year. Being that I was the only hot glass torch worked entry, borosilicate glass, and they took it away. I could understand if like they put me in with a soft glass torch work, you know, soft glass and borosilicate glass. That could be in the same category, but to slump me in with the slumped glass workers, that was really interesting. And I still won second place overall. But had I been in my own entry and category, I believe I should have probably won best of show in first place. So this year I plan to win those ribbons by making an amazing entry. And I don't even know what the theme of it's going to be yet, but I'm going to use all mediums, so that way I think if I use all different glass mediums, stained glass, fused glass, slumped glass, blown glass, lamp work, soft glass. If I do it all and put it all together in one piece, I don't know how. But then again, there might be some amazing entries, right? And being that I'm saying this, there might be artists now hearing me and be like, oh, you think you're going to take it, sir? All right, Mr. Glassman. And then they're going to come out and do the same thing that I'm talking about. But like I said, keep it open source. I'm not trying to hide anything. These are just my ideas, my plans. This is my world right here, the Glassman's world. So I'm just sharing with you all. And those are my plans. And if they don't work out, I might not even make something. You know, there was a year or two that I didn't make anything and didn't even try to enter again. The very first time I ever entered, I won best of show in first place. And I was like, well, I can't really top that. But I realized there's other art shows that happen at the state fair, and this is only the creative arts building and not the fine arts, not the Hispanic arts or the Native American arts. So, you know, it could be all different ones. I don't know if I would be allowed to enter into Native American, even though being Mexican would be Native American heritage. But then that's also like considered Hispanic. So, and we've got Hispanic arts here, and that's probably where I would have to enter. I'm guessing, assuming. I don't have any tribal affiliations, you know, it's just through my mother. My mother's Mexican descent. Our grandfather, our ancestors. But yeah, there's lots of other art shows, including the fine art show, which, you know, that wouldn't even matter on what or who you are. It's just all about the fine arts. I don't know if I could take some of my entries, my past entries that I won, and enter them into those. I don't know if that's actually possible. If they got to be new works of art and can't have ever been entered in any other New Mexico Expo art show or not, I have no idea. So these used to take me about 3 minutes, and I think they're taking me a good 5 minutes now, maybe longer. I really don't know. I'm just chit-chatting away. An update on shipping. I have 2 orders that I was supposed to get out before Christmas. It did not happen. I basically spent money on the kids and then had to come up with rent, and I was really not trying to worry about getting shipping out when I needed to make sure we had a place to stay and live. So this hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get those out. Got to get them in the package, and I'm gonna be shipping out extra. So these are from the sweepstakes winners that won the Gardeno Glass giveaway, and it's taken me a long time to get them out, and then also to reach to others. There's still a couple more items in there for individuals that I have not been able to reach back out to, so I don't know where to send to and those kind of things. And it took a while for one individual, and the other has just been I've been taking a while, so I apologize for that. But I do want to get that out as soon as possible, so hopefully by tomorrow those will be going out. And then we'll be doing some more Gardeno Glass giveaways very soon. I'm not 100% sure how I'd like to do it. I'm thinking maybe the more times you comment on a video, I think I'm just going to create a video and just the more comments, and it'll just be open. Like, I don't even care. You just comment. You can just, and that way, what might happen is it'll like bring up the algorithm on that video and get others to watch it and things and see that something's going on. Maybe make it go viral. I don't know. So if we do that, I'll have to make something really awesome, make something cool. Maybe whatever it is that I'm making will be what I'm giving away. And then you just comment on that video, and whoever comments the most, or just every time you comment, will equal one entry for the spinning wheel, or for the drawing, or however we do it. You know, if we do a random number selector or whatever it is we do. That one's nice and smooth too. All right, let's make at least one more cobalt blue. And then I don't know if I'm going to make anything. What else should I do? What else do I need to make? I definitely need to just make a bunch of mushrooms, a bunch of spirals, any sort of, just any glass. But the tops I'm completely like out of. I only got 5 of them. Usually I try to make 5 of each color, at least 10 different colors, try to have 50 of them. And I only have 5 of them right now. So my inventory is extremely low on the spinning tops. Selling them at buy one get one free every Christmas, that always wipes me out. But then it gives me the opportunity to make all new glass for the new year. So then we start out with all new fresh glass for the year. Of course, I still got a whole bunch of glasses I've been sitting on for a minute. And if there's anything that sits there stagnant for a while, I simply start to gift it out as either presents, gifts throughout the year. I do a lot of just hanging them from different places, on signs, on trees, in bushes, random places inside of restaurants, buildings, things like that. And then I'll post a photo and then just put, if you find it, it's yours. Simply like that. And usually that's on my Facebook page. So you may want to start following me on Facebook as well for those kind of things if you're local. If you're not local, it's not going to do you any good. So only for my locals out there, follow me on Facebook, and that way you can find out where I'm hiding glass throughout the year. Oh, I don't know if you saw about the treasure hunt for the 1,000 cash treasure find, but that little treasure hunt was found, I think, by the day that they posted that last clue, the last video clue. And that night people went out in the dark with flashlights and found it. So if you were waiting till the next morning, till sunbreak, you had no chance. And I got held up doing, I don't know, family stuff or whatever, completely forgot about it. And then by the time I got back to checking, I already saw that it was found. I'm like, oh, well, congratulations. Good job. It was a kid, I don't know, maybe 13-year-old, and his family went out looking and found it. So congratulations to them. And there'll be many more of these sort of treasure hunts for NM Treasure Hunts. On Facebook, go to NM Treasure Hunts. NM, New Mexico. And maybe we'll do our Trash for Treasure hunt, where we'll have people collect trash as they're looking for treasure. And if they bring me a bag back, then they get a free water drop, the drop of water. Maybe we'll make one of those. We'll make the first water drop for the year. We'll do that right now after this last one, the spinning top. Just got to make sure this is nice and straight. Seeing it's a little crooked, little top heavy there. Just make sure to force it down. So yeah, we may try to collaborate again with the New Mexico treasure hunts and see if we can get that trash for treasure hunt going again. And we'll gift out a whole bunch of water drops. Maybe we'll hide some around in the bosque or in the area that we clean up, which is usually by the river. And that way we can get people to go around and clean up trash along the river, in the river. If they can pull trash out from the river, you know, that's always helpful to get it out of the water. And just anywhere. Just pick up trash in your local area, local community. You know, I may start doing that on Facebook at The Drop of Water. If you follow, and not the Drop of Water campaign. The Drop of Water campaign, they basically stole all of our images, our logos, our basically what we were doing with the Drop of Water, and trying to like put it on that it was their own thing, and never like keeping us separated. So don't follow the Drop of Water campaign, just the Drop of Water. So you may see two different pages show up with the same image. Make sure you follow the right one there. And then, like I said, I may just start doing like in your local community. You know, if you can like get a group of friends, family to go out, clean up an area, you know, take some photos, post it up on social media or something, that you guys like cleaned up this area or that area, then maybe I'll be able to send you out the Drop of Water as just showing my appreciation for you guys going out there and showing your love to your local area and just cleaning it up. And when you do that, you know, it really does help to inspire others. I've seen, like, when I'm out there picking up trash, people will ask, like, hey, what are you doing? And like, oh, we're just cleaning up around the river here, just to try to keep the trash out of the water and, you know, keep it away from polluting and stuff. And then they're like, oh, that's so cool. And then they'll, like, bend down and pick up the nearest piece of trash that they can find, and they'll put it in your trash bag. And they might not start picking up trash with you for like an hour or two or however long, but they may pick up at least a little piece of trash just right there in that moment, which is cool. So it's really inspiring to do that. So I think I'd like to do that, or at least just go out there on my own like I used to do and pick up trash every once in a while. I used to do it on Sundays, but I now do the Sunday market. Maybe Saturday mornings I can do that, which would work out really well for when I take my daughter to her PE class on Saturday, which is weird. Yes, she has PE on Saturday, every other Saturday. So I could take her there, and then as I'm waiting for 3 hours for her to be out, I can go and clean up, and I can invite others to come and join me. And those who join me, I would gladly and willingly gift them the Drop of Water. Nice. So that one spins well too. Alright, so let's make the Drop of Water since we're talking about it. It'll be the first water drop for the year for 2026. And maybe I'll set this one aside for the very first individual who comes out and joins me to clean up along the bosque here in Albuquerque. I usually meet up there along Central and the Rio Grande, either on the north side or the south side there. It's usually one of the most frequent, most visited place, most frequently visited place that we have along the river. And so a lot of people leave their trash behind and things like that. And also, you know, just so you know, sometimes it's not about people littering and leaving trash, but the fact that trash doesn't go into bags that are tied off in your trash cans. And sometimes the wind will blow the trash can lids up and then blow all your trash around. So sometimes you may not be littering, but your trash may be getting blown around from not being secured. So that may be something to just think about. Because I notice a lot of times that trash gets blown out of the receptacles, and then that gets littered all over the place. And it's a lot worse than when one person just drops a piece of trash here and there. There's a lot more trash that gets blown around when a trash can lid gets blown over or blown up, and then the contents gets blown out. And when that happens to one trash can, it's going to happen to the one across the street and the one next door and all the ones down the street and everywhere that wind gust just came through. So it's something good to think about. I'm not saying to do anything, but you do whatever you want. You do what you want. But I like to promote environmentalism and clean drinking water for all and all that. So yeah, if you want to help out and clean up, and join me maybe every Saturday or every other Saturday in the mornings, because in the afternoon I believe we're going to start vending on Saturdays as well. From 3 p.m. or sometime around there, maybe set up about 2, and then go in the evenings in Nob Hill, in a different location, but still in Nob Hill, which I've always loved. Nob Hill, it's one of my favorite spots, favorite locations to be in, to hang out in. Ever since I first moved here to Albuquerque back in like 1988, when I was just a little punk skater kid, and we'd go around all over the place. And I remember we'd skate all the way down near Nob Hill to where was the beach zone on Carlisle and Lomas. It's now a Walgreens. But we used to come and skate down this area, and then we'd go down in Nob Hill and skate all the little areas, and then skate downtown and go all the way up to the mountains. And so yeah, but Nob Hill, it's always been one of my favorite places to go and to be. And so I think Saturdays we're gonna try to make it more regular, more frequent, and set up there in front of Fat Stacks and Tractor Brewing. And Fat Stacks gotta just give a shout out to them. They make some amazing burgers there, and French fries, and they are an amazing host to us, to the vendors, and I appreciate them so much. I've only been there twice, and I just feel like family already, you know? It's like that over there, and that's really cool. All right, well, here goes the first of many of the Drop of Water pendant. Water's life, every drop counts. We are all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. Water is life, and every drop counts. So I don't know how many of these I've made and sold, but I do know that I've made and I've gifted 3,800 and 3,878. So the next one that I'll gift out will become 3,879. And then I just have to try to remember that in my head. Every time I gift one, I just add another number to it. And it's pretty awesome because some of those I can remember like around the time that I've gifted certain individuals, like, you know, on the 300th one compared to like the 3,000th one. You know, and then the very first 19 that were gifted out to my friends from the Pueblo Enchantment Dancers, friends of mine from Acoma Pueblo, as well as I believe Laguna and Santo Domingo, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong with those other two. I could be wrong. All right, let's see if this one spins. All right, that one's a little crooked, but it still spins. All right, so there's a drop of water, guys. Like I said, we'll start doing some more live glass blowing demos and instructional videos. So let's do one quick lesson. This is a beginner glass blowing lesson on how to gather glass, which is simply getting your rod of clear glass, putting it into the flame, introducing the tip into the flame, start to spin it. Sometimes I'll rock it back and forth to get it to like kind of flow into a little bit of a ball there, and then I'll start to like really rotate it and spin it around. There's some individuals that'll put a piece of tape on it and you can see where the rotation's going, how it's spinning one way then the other way. Maybe I'll do that to show you guys when I'm doing lessons. But what you want to do is you want to gather that glass so it went from a really sharp point to now it's like a nice little rounded tip there. And then you just keep on allowing the flame on the torch to heat up that. You want to follow it down into the rod, and that'll slowly just bring it down all as one piece to where then it's not just a little ball, but now it's going all back into the rod itself. And at this point it's ready to then push a mushroom, which you need to know how to pull a stringer, which we probably should have done first, because I don't know if I have any stringers ready. So let's just grab this here. I don't know what color this is. Usually I would pull the stringer first and then have this molten. We're going to allow this to not be molten, which is we've kind of wasted some time by heating it up in the first place. We didn't need to do that if it wasn't ready. But I'm going to just use it to attach the color. Pull this vertical so I can keep it nice and straight. Keeping it thin at about a good, like, I don't know, 1 to 2 millimeters, like that. I'm spinning both rods here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm spinning them both. So as I'm pulling them, and it keeps it nice and taut. Then I should be able to just snap this right off right here. And if not, I can just melt it off, because it might have been too molten, being that I had that tip on there already, or already hot. There. I just snap that off there. Oh, I was gonna say, let's make sure it's not on my clothes, and that's exactly where it was, burning my leg. Got a nice little hole in my pants. All right, so now we get back to what we were doing. So we get this molten again. So you want to get this tip molten. So like I said, that was a whole waste of energy there without having your stringer pulled first. But now you know one way of how to pull a stringer, using the tip of another piece of glass and then attaching it, pulling it. You can also just grab it with the tweezers and pull it. So now we get this, the end of the clear rod molten. We get the tip of the colored glass stringer here, a little bit molten, just the tip. We're going to push that in to the clear glass directly in the center. And as we do that, I'm going to twist it so I can see that it's going to stay centered. Pushing it in, it'll kind of hit a wall of where the glass isn't molten anymore. And that's where you really, really push it. But you want to be careful not to break that colored glass and allow that to snap off and hurt you in a bad way. And now there's some air bubble in there from pushing all that color glass in there. There's air underneath the cap and wrapped around that stem, and you want to get the air out of there and have the glass wrapped around that stem. So you basically start above the mushroom cap on the clear rod. You get that molten to where then the glass will be molten above the cap, and you're going to slowly work your way pulling your glass out, but you're working the flame down the rod and slowly pushing that air bubble out as that glass is um, pinching down on itself and forcing the air bubble out. And this takes the most amount of time of just melting it and getting that air out. So just be patient here at this moment, keeping the flame above the mushroom cap. We're still there above the mushroom cap. We're waiting for it to really get hot inside there. You can see the colors start to glow in there. Once it starts to glow, then you can slowly start edging your way down to the tip of the rod there, and slowly working the air bubble out. So now I'm still kind of above the mushroom cap, but more on top of it, and allowing for the air that's underneath the cap to really get forced out and to really start pinching the glass on top of the stem, the color there that will become the mushroom stem. And now as it's slowly moving down, I can work my way all the way to the tip, which will allow all that air to get pushed out as that clear glass forces its way onto itself. And I can clean up the bottom here, which you're left with like a little bit of like a dimple, a little bit of color there. And so you want to just melt that nice and round, so it doesn't look like there's any sort of crevice, any hole, dimple, anything like that. You don't want the color sticking out like a little knob or anything. You just want to round it all out. I spin my rod back and forth this way, then that way, this way, then that way. Just counter spinning it, so that way it's not always spinning in one direction, because the glass will twist on you if you do that. So you want to always counterbalance your spin, going forward and then backward a couple times, and forward, then backward a couple times, and forward, then backwards a couple times. Then you get your punty, which is just a piece of scrap rod. Sometimes I use tubing that's been solidified on the tip. We attach that to the bottom, spin it, make sure that it's nice and straight, go above the mushroom cap on the rod of the 16 millimeter rod here, and just keep the flame there until it gets really molten, and then you keep it there even longer, and you'll feel your hands will just kind of naturally start to pull apart, and you'll notice the glass rod will thin out. And when that happens, most people pull apart. I don't see most people pushing in. If you push in, then just slowly start pulling apart. But you want to see it start to thin out. As you do that, keep spinning and pull, keeping it controlled, keeping it at about 2 to 3 millimeter thick, figuring out where you want the front of your mushroom to be. Push forward or up. That's going to be the front of it there. Then bring it back down and around. Use the flame to then attach it to itself from where it just was pulled from, just like that. Put your hot glass down, always keeping your hot ends away from you. These are always cool ends. I always know that my ends are cool down here. Get your reamer, heat up this knob of glass that's right here sticking up. Heat that, get that molten, and then mash it down with the reamer. So you just get it molten and then just kind of mash it down. So now it's not a big old knob just sticking up right there. And then you can melt it in to itself and start to melt the whole entire loop, and get the loop to the hole to start to get smaller. The rod around the loop gets bigger, and you want to use your reamer to keep the hole open. And then also, if you need to push it one way or another, you can use your reamer here to direct it, to guide it. If you need to push it over this way, if it's crooked leaning over another way, you can push it from the opposite way, and make sure that it's nice and straight. And then once you have the hole where you want it, and it's a nice size, I always go in one last time to round it up really well, make sure it's straight. And then I always go in and I give it a nice pull, like I'm tugging it upward like this. And I'm pulling it up, and that's drawing it out like a rope to make that nice and tight pulled upward, so it's all flowing real nicely like that. Then we just grab it with the tweezers here, and I'm gonna let you guys go after this. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. We snap off the puntee, clean up the puntee mark because there's a little, piece of sharp glass there, or little rough end there. So you want to fire polish that, heat it up, go on the top of the flame, go underneath the flame, just to heat it up with the edge of the flame there. You don't really need to get the whole entire pendant molten and in the flame, just the very edge, on top, on the bottom, just like that. Clean it up. That's a done deal, and that's ready to go in the kiln. So we'll get all these in the kiln here all together. I normally make all of the mushrooms cold and then fire them up all together at once, so I'm not just running the kiln forever. But I appreciate you all for tuning in and watching. That's the very first glass demo live stream for 2026. Many more, and yeah, please give a watch, rewind this, watch it all back from the beginning, so you can know exactly what's to come this year, what I have to offer, what I'm going to be doing, the different giveaways that I will be doing. Make sure that you subscribe so you can hear about those giveaways, and then also, like I said, we'll probably do a video with the Gardenia glass giveaway, and just every time you comment you get a new entry, so we may just do that as well. All right, you guys, well, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I'm Dan the Glassman, and you've been watching the Glassman's World. Happy New Year once again. Welcome to 2026. We made it, guys. I'm out.